Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm the MysteriousSJG. It's been a day since I was last recording. Still have a cold. I feel a little bit better. So I hope I don't sound quite as bad. Might be doing a bit of sniffling though. I mean, colds really suck. It's like, it basically feels like being hungover. Except you're not going to feel better by the end of the day, and you didn't get to be drunk the night before. So, just not that much fun at all. As you'll notice, we're back on the Nexus. I did do a little reading and research into what the best augments are for these created weapons, and frustratingly, some of the cooler sounding ones. And I did actually play around a little off screen with, I turned my... I used the quote reflecting the not reflecting, what is it? There's supposed to be something that your bullets will bounce off of solid objects and like recoil. And I tried using that and on my sniper rifle, and basically my sniper rifle just wasn't working anymore. Like it basically just broke it because apparently the range is like drastically lowered with that, and it just doesn't work the way it sounds like it works at all. So that was frustrating. And I tried the electricity module thing on the pistol, and that seemed to work. Like, it was kind of cool. Like, you shoot enemies, and they shimmy around like they're electrocuted, a little bit. But, yeah, what I read about it, it basically suggests that that one is one of the better ones of the projectile modifying things, but it still is actually making it do less damage than it does if you don't fuck around with it. So frustratingly, I came back to the Nexus to buy some of the weapon augmentations that you don't research because they're just more straightforward in what they do and are actually going to work better for us. So we'll get to that in a moment. I want to, while we're here, talk to Addison and redeploy. Oh, that's right. Addison's actually right where we just left. So we'll knock out this side quest. While I was running around back and forth, because I had to go to the Nexus to buy some of these. I guess I'll just show them to you real quick. The augmentation. So, like, Battlefield Assist module we might actually use, but the beam emitter thing, yeah, it actually nerfs your damage. Like most of these ones that actually do something to the projectile, make it do less damage. Like the one that causes, there's one that causes homing shots. It can be kind of useful for shooting guys behind cover, and that's about it. And also, the store that's sold these augments, this is the general store, it only has one of each in stock. So I would have to buy something and then leave the Nexus and go back to the ship and then get back on the Nexus again, and it would restock. So I did that a couple times. Now I've got double mod extension, mod slot augmentation. Basically, you put this in one of your augmentation slots, and it gives you 2 mod slots. Because modifications are separate from mods, are separate from augmentations in this game. Augmentations you do one time only when you're building. Electrical conduit, I was kind of thought it might be fun to play around with this, even though it doesn't do as much damage, but I don't think I will. And then I bought like 4 kinetic coils because they just give you plus 3% weapon damage. Almost everything else was giving a boost to powers, or like, biotic power, or tech power. This was like the only thing that was going to actually freaking increase your just weapon damage, and that's most of what I want to put on my weapons. Another thing I found out that, ricochet system. This was like, this broke my sniper rifle. Like I was playing around off screen, sniper rifle, utterly useless when I put this ricochet system thing on it. So that was frustrating. And most of the really cool mods are, there's a couple that are like special. They're either gun behavior or special. And you can only have one special and one gun behavior. So it makes sense you can't have like the seeking thing and electricity, because one of them is turning it to plasma, one of them is turning it to electricity. But it was annoying that like you can't have vintage heatsink, which automatically refills your clip, and there's another one which does something special when you run through an entire clip. Where was that actually? I thought I got it. It was a maybe I didn't actually end up sticking with that. Shield generator. You get... Oh, that's not it. You know, I think I bought it and then loaded the game and didn't end up buying it. But there was one... There's one where when you run out of clip, you automatically regenerate 25% of your shields. And there were strategy guides for, if you use like the Widow sniper rifle, which only has one shot per clip, so you're constantly running through your full clip because there's only one shot in a clip. So that one, like, yeah, you pair that up with the thing where every time you run through a clip, you get your shields restored by 25%, and suddenly it becomes a viable strategy to like kind of break the game mechanics a little bit and you can tank damage and just like pick guys off as they're shooting at you because you're constantly getting your shields back. But then it's stuff that sounds good. Shield bypass unit, plus 5% power damage bonus to shields. It's like, oh, cool, I got like plus 5% damage bonus to shields in my weapon. No, it's plus 5% power damage, which means it's like your preset crazy shield, you know. It's stuff like concussive shot or trip mine or flak cannon will do plus 5% damage to shields, not your actual just regular old shooting. So that's a shame. That being said, we're now actually ready to build our new Woppets, because I'm just going to give them 2 mod slots and then put 2 kinetic coils into each because I believe they stack, so it'll be plus 6% weapon damage. But the thing I discovered that was really annoying is that, you know how we spent all those research points to get those augmentations, because the game told us, hey, once you've researched an augmentation, you'll easily be able to recognize it in the field, so you'll be able to find them in the world. Like, you know, basically it makes them start dropping as items. I just assumed that you could build them using research points, and you could build as many of them as you wanted. Not so. You get one. Like I'd like take the heatsink for example. I spent 200 Milky Way research points on a heatsink. Not a big deal since we used our Nexus perk to get a slow trickle of Milky Way research points coming in all the time. But we have one heatsink, so now I've got this pistol and the sniper rifle that I want to build. If I wanted a heatsink in both of them, I can't have it. I pick one. I'm not allowed to buy a new one using more Milky Way research points. I just have to hope that one pops up as an item drop. And so far we haven't seen hardly anything like that pop up as item drops. So researching how to build it, there's no way for me to spend currency on it. It's not being sold in stores. Basically, it's just like I spent the research points to have one, and I can never have another unless I get lucky and it drops. Now, when you put it in a weapon, if you disassemble that weapon, you get the augments back. So it's not like I put it in a level 3 sniper rifle and then I get a level 5 sniper rifle and I'm boned. I can disassemble my level 3 and build up a level 5 and put those augments in. But I can't just put... Yeah, it's frustrating. Why did they feel the need to add crafting to Mass Effect? I don't know. But they did. Let's talk to Addison.
Yes, Pathfinder?
Getting someone out of cryo, spenders, allegiance. Oh, the other thing I have to tell you guys, I forgot to start my timer. So let me quick check. We're a third of the way through this freaking video already. And I've done nothing but bitch about the crafting system. While wandering around on the Nexus, I also triggered a side quest basically it just popped up as a side quest we can do because the PA announced something about protesters in the, what do they call it, hydroponics, the place where they're growing plants. And this is very Mass Effect, like original trilogy moment of us just staring at this person while I'm talking. But yeah, it just took the form of a PA announcement, and does seem to recur periodically. So you might get to hear it again. But there's a side quest that we now have where we can go talk to some people who are protesting and see what their deal is. Let's start with getting someone out of cryo.
I have info on a specific sleeper I'd like brought out of cryo.
I want to avoid that entirely. For reasons.
Reasons? That's it?
Look, you're the Pathfinder. If you've a request for your extended team, that's a request you can make. Access the sleeper records through Brekker's console. It's none of my business. Until you make it a problem for me. Understood?
She's kind of a bitch.
Yes, Pathfinder?
Spender's allegiance, then.
I've been digging, and there are serious concerns about Spender.
And this relates to your job as Pathfinder how?
I'm the hero of the game.
It relates to your job.
3, 4, 5... Right. I've had a year and a half of doing everything with nothing. 1,000 people riding.
You've had nothing to do. There's no
Spender,
colonies to manage.
He is, helps. So, Pathfinder, if you've accusations to make, be certain. I'll drop trouble like a hot rock, but I can't lose people over suspicions. We don't have the people left.
I guess this... She counts to 5 before dealing with our idiocy. Our idiocy being pointing out the fact that everyone on the entire station is ready to mutiny over this guy.
Director Addison?
Goodbye, Pathfinder.
Although she swore she wouldn't call us Pathfinder, but hey, whatever.
Pathfinder, AVP leveling continues as per your directions. And of course, the interface remains accessible for any future adjustments.
The adjustments.
Sweet protocol and the process. Now we're living.
I have a specific person I want brought out of cryo.
Name and designation if available.
That's it?
Dr.
You'll just
Mindbender.
do it?
I want him out
Nowhere
of
in my
cryo.
job description does it say, argue with the Pathfinder. That said, I record all interactions. If something you ask for causes trouble, there will be no doubt that you're responsible.
Okay, well...
I heard that the chief engineer on EOS went back into cryo.
I have a side quest to complete
There
here,
have
so...
been a few such requests. The first few months in Helios were disheartening.
Now the Prodromos is on track. I want her redeployed.
Well, no.
Chief Engineer Grace Lito, designation E97 Durango. Deployment will begin shortly. Is there anything else, Pathfinder?
Why do you have that horrible accent? Colonist ID designations.
Why do some colonists have a number letter designation?
Because they're robotoids.
All initiative members do. In a CV file somewhere, anyway. It isn't relevant when everyone is doing everything. I suppose it's like caring about a middle name. Do you not know yours?
I know mine.
I wasn't aware I had one.
You were in select company, even before you were made Pathfinder.
Your middle name is Girly
Scott
Man.
Ryder, Pathfinder. Specialist designation, A04 Malapa.
Something interesting?
An A and low odds. Someone's an early adopter.
Uh-huh.
Why'd you join the initiative?
I was a teacher. A good life. I could see the positives and negatives right through to the end.
This is the
You did the math and it said, come to Andromeda?
No, I just didn't like being able to see the end. Here, I don't have a clue what tomorrow will bring. It feels more like living.
So you were depressed because you had a pension. What? Oh. I guess this just kicked us straight to... I think we were talking to him. It kicked us straight to the menu.
Pathfinder?
I went for the basics, you know what? Alright. I guess he is a terminal in that sense.
What's your take on the state of the initiative?
It sucks.
Please consult the AVP interface. It has a thorough breakdown of your progress.
And your personal opinion?
I don't have one.
Your progress thrills me. Make my job obsolete, Pathfinder. I dare you.
Another time.
Creepazoid.
Pathfinder.
Sure. Well, I guess the better beginning or Secret Project and Defeating the Ket are both going. I played around with Defeating the Ket also while not recording, and if something is going to happen later to reduce the radiation level on EOS, Defeating the Ket will get a lot easier. Because I got pretty far with it. I even killed what I'm thinking was meant to be something of a boss character. But I kept running into a situation where there was no... I didn't have enough time to figure out what the next objective was before we died of being irradiated. Because it's set outside of the area where you can wander around and take your time. So I'm going to kind of hold off on that and see if eventually the story advances to such an extent that the atmospheric whatever the hell on that the remnant guys have is decreased the radiation level. Aid Apex, gather intel on enemies. First Murder. I guess we could finish up First Murder. We could Sleeping Dragons. It's the Zhuge Liang story. That has to be a Zhuge Liang reference, actually. But we can go speak with the protesters. There appears to be a disturbance in hydroponics. There's a disturbance in the force. And the firefighter is on hold until we get an email from Knight. Now, I suppose we could actually go check our email, and maybe that has happened, but... That must mean that it's somewhere in completed mission is programming a Pathfinder. Pardon me. Investigate points of failure. Yeah, okay, so something personal is done. I don't know if we'll meet this Lido person later, but we finished that quest. Which makes it all the stranger that apparently boosting the sea. This one should be over, but I suppose we could... Suppose if I go find the journalist guy, who we put the camera there for him, maybe let him know. Speak with Sid. Sid Vicious.
Hi.
Hey.
I'll let you get back to work.
So that... What?
How's the pathfinding? Good?
I'll let you get back to work.
What is that accomplishing? Why is... What?
Pathfinder?
I met another journalist.
Yeah, we asked him
Gary
about all this
Tavessa.
stuff.
I'm mostly on my own. Content is king, and her content is really touching a nerve.
Talk to you later, Davis.
I'll be here.
Somebody can tell me if I don't think I hit any buttons that would have clicked through it, but like a...
No, I don't want to talk to a spokesperson.
Okay, I don't want to talk to this. I thought maybe he said something to us about the fact that we had set up his transmitter, and that it then just, like, scrolled off the screen before I could do anything with it. And, like, half the women on the station look exactly like your default female character.
Attention, civil disobedience has been reported in hydroponics. Security is investigating.
Yeah, that civil disobedience has been reported in hydroponics is the only announcement I remember hearing. So I guess some tasks when they're finished, they go to completed tasks, and some don't. We did what he asked us to do. We got a little experience bleep. Bleep? What the hell am I saying? We got a little experience boost for doing it, as the idea that you could go back and talk to him and the dialogue would change a bit, or that would count as concluding the quest. I guess not. So anyway, this is hydroponics. So let's go over and see what's going on.
Tell our leaders, wake the sleepers.
Ich heiße Schrakas.
Seems quiet for now. Look, Jonesy.
I know. This isn't what I signed up for either. Wake the sleepers.
I didn't sign up to have ridiculous purple hair.
Hey, Pathfinder.
What up, gangster?
You're with the militia, right? What's going on in there?
A crowd of people in hydroponics and they won't leave.
They're disrupting operations. Might get nasty. Can you talk to them?
We'll do person who looks very much like a video game character and not like a person.
Make them hear. Make them know. Make them lead or make them go.
Your slogans are deeply
Free our
annoying.
families.
Hey, what's going on?
Holmes.
That's your new galaxy. Making speeches about some fresh start while your kids stay frozen.
And it's all thanks to your Pathfinder.
Excuse
I am
me?
the Pathfinder. Oh, wait.
We've waited months for our families to come out of stasis. They should have gone to your outpost.
But since you think research is so important, military personnel got bumped down the list. Like my clan brothers.
All the reassignments mean they're in 10 different colony blocks now.
Boo-hoo.
And my mother just got caught in the middle.
Well, why did you guys come? I mean, all these people bitching, why did any of them think they wanted to hop into a spaceship, sleep for 600 years, and wake up in, like, a wasteland? What did they... I guess they were suckered in by promises of streets paved with gold. I didn't expect this. I had to make a choice. Yeah, I did have to make a choice.
We only had resources for one outpost, so I focused on the skills we needed most.
And we don't need the skills that your friends represent.
Family's back.
Maybe you could still make this right. I just want Mom out of stasis. That's all anyone here wants.
Everyone here wants my mom out of
You do
stasis.
stasis revivals. You can tell our leaders you're opening those pods. Today.
I authorize whole colony blocks or a few emergency revivals. I can't wake dozens of random people.
We don't care whose finger pushes the button. If you can't, our leaders can. And if you tell them, they will.
I'll talk to them. My word's not enough. I guess I'll talk to them.
Okay. I'll talk to the leadership about what we can do.
14 months of promises. It's time for some results.
We tried petitioning Addison. She ignored us. Screw her.
Start with Kandros. He sent those 10 soldiers over there. Maybe he'll take us seriously.
Plan before cronies.
Maybe we can... He's the leader of the militia, right? Maybe he can come up with something for them to do. I mean, we've got these people doing Apex missions, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't sure that it, like, I should have acknowledged, like, they're just protesters. It's not like they're blowing shit up on the station. But at the same time, I do kind of feel like trying to choose a Paragon-ish answer, I sort of stuck my foot in my mouth a little bit. Because they're definitely going to blame us if we can't get his clan brothers out of status.
Ryder's son has reportedly replaced him as Pathfinder, taking command of the Tempest in the ongoing search for a home in Andromeda.
Hey, they're talking about me.
Is HNS.
The suspect's in custody.
No news on the Turian Ark yet. Or is this militia business?
Are you here to stare at me? Well, we found, did we tell anybody? I guess we could go tell Tam about the escape pod from the Solarian Ark.
I need to talk to you about stasis revival and those protesters in hydroponics.
I see. Maybe I should get the others for this.
Oh, Okay.
Protesters have seized hydroponics.
I want them to
They
hear
want their
you.
families out of stasis.
Selling
The
us
outpost on
to
Eos
a bunch of
disrupted the
protesters.
schedule. They're scattered across colony blocks, dozens of people. The protesters want this fixed today.
The realities of our position are...
We can't wake those families. We don't have the resources, and there's nowhere to put them.
We got a whole planet. Yeah, I mean, I am to the point, like, why aren't we sending lots of guys down there?
We settled Eos. There's no space down there for a few extra?
It's not that simple, Ryder. Everything Eos produces right now is accounted for.
And if we send soldiers to a research outpost, there'll be trouble.
Because
What do you
soldiers
suggest?
and researchers
Leave the
can't
families
get
in
along.
stasis where it's safe and get those protesters out of hydroponics. They seem sympathetic, but so did the exiles. We can't risk another revolt. Survival is more important than family reunions.
The protesters dangerous.
Do you think these protests could turn violent?
We're all pioneers. Even civilians are tough enough to start something.
And interfering in hydroponics threatens our oxygen supply. They know that.
How you want to move them?
What would you do with the protesters?
I'd send in a squad and march them out. At gunpoint if we must. If they resist, a few might land in medbay, but it's better than losing hydroponics. Or the Nexus.
They're gonna make me... Well, everybody, sympathetic and non-sympathetic characters, have told us that no, we can't just let them do what they want to do. I don't think their logic is really all that strong for why we can't send them down. God, I hate his beard. I feel like we should be kind of sticking up for them, though. I don't know why they got split into separate blocks or whatever. Yeah, this is a real coin flip kind of decision. Like, I could see this going either way. I'm curious what happens if we insist, because it seems like everyone else thinks we're wrong.
These people aren't the enemy. We didn't come all this way to rip families apart. We'll manage the resource squeeze somehow.
Your compassion is admirable, but...
You're an idiot.
Guess we're all tightening our belts.
You can run a stasis override command from operations. I hope the rest will be that easy.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess everyone was okay letting me decide because I'm the hero.
Well, those families are out of stasis. I know because we're cutting rations for Apex.
Punch
My
me in the
decision's
face.
made, Kandros.
And now everyone thinks protesting is how we get stuff done. Excuse me.
Oh, he's got a good point.
No news on the Turian Ark yet? Or is this militia business?
Goodbye.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
He really wasn't happy with us, was he? Well, we'll go talk to the lady who already hates us.
Security is investigating.
Kind of makes me wonder what happens if you choose military outpost up front. I'm sure there's another similar thing where the scientists are all, and you have to try to appease them.
Pathfinder.
Okay, she doesn't.
Director Addison?
Goodbye, Pathfinder.
She doesn't actually chew us out specifically.
Hydroponics reports oxygen production is nominal.
So we'll check in with Tam, and then we'll check in with the Krogan lady, whose name I'm forgetting. Tan's office is pretty impressive, actually.
Well, old man, we're getting there. Put in a good word for us.
Hey, I thought Scottish lady was the religious one.
Tan likes to think he's keeping an eye on us. Works both ways.
Ooh.
Apex personnel, please check your duty roster for reports and updates.
They are like an infection.
An occupying force. The deeper we push into the cluster, the more likely we are to bump into them.
Uh-huh.
There's no turning back. We're living here whether they like it or not.
Then how's your marksmanship?
Why?
It may come to that.
I don't know why the how's your marksmanship is a fine place to end it. I don't know why Tam has to be like, why are you asking that?
Something I can help you with?
Missing arcs.
Any more information you can give me on the missing arcs?
If they're the same problems with the Scourge, should you find any clues, please investigate. Without the other arcs, the promise of the initiative can never be fulfilled.
Okay, so I guess Apex guy is the only guy who really gives a crap about that whole. We completely overrode the entire council and sided with the protesters and fucked everything up forever by creating the impression that protests actually work. Tannis like, what are you going to do next? Are you going to go back in time and make Trump release his tax returns? Fucking hippie. What are you doing? It's like, yeah, break action. Whoa, I'm playing fun games. You got anything new, Drax, or Drac? Oh, my name is Drac. Well, whatever.
Good job on the outpost. Maybe Addison will lighten up.
What do you mean?
She's been pretty upset about not having an initiative outpost established yet. Understandable, if you ask me. I'm just glad she's got work to focus on now.
Nothing more for now.
Later.
So none of them really seem to care. Once little side quest is over, it's over. So this is still here as a task. Nexus, Sleeping Dragons. Authorized stasis revivals from Nexus operations. Okay, I guess we have to actually do that manually.
Any logistics updates are due within the hour.
Pod control.
Okay, sending the override command. The stasis pods should start unlocking.
You're really doing this? I was at the protest in hydroponics. I thought we'd just get more excuses.
I thought I'd just get
but
stupid
we already
face
lost
tats.
a year waiting for our families. I'm glad it's time.
Yeah, well, you really fucked things up with me and that Turian guy. We were bros. Now he's angry with me. And in order for you to fully appreciate how bad this situation has become, you're going to have to wait for the next video. I'm the MysteriousJG. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll join me next time as we continue talking to Guy with Dumb Face Tat. Bye.